Guys, it's me, Miss Norris, and today I'd like to do a short drawing activity with you called Yes You Can Draw an Armadillo, because yes, you can draw an armadillo, and I can show you how in some very easy to follow steps. All you're going to need is something to write on. Today I'm going to be using my dry erase board, and I'm actually going to go ahead and turn it on its side, and my dry erase marker. Now, if you are ready to get started, so am I. As I've already showed you, I've turned my paper on its side, and I'm going to start by making a long line in the middle of my paper, and then I'm going to make a rainbow shape on top of this line, kind of like this. This is going to be your armadillo's body, and it can be as big or as small as you want it to be. And it kind of looks like a capital D. If you wanted to try to draw a capital D right side up, I'm sure that would be a great way to also start this armadillo. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the snout, or the little nose of the armadillo. Did you know that armadillos are closely related to anteaters? They both like to use their long snouts to sniff up bugs. I thought that was really interesting. I just learned that. So to make an armadillo's snout, you're going to start at about middle of its shell, and you're going to make a line that kind of slopes down. That means moves downward. And then you're going to make a very small line, because that's the end of its snout, and then kind of bring it back up until it touches the bottom of your shell. All right, easy peasy lemon squeezies, right? Then armadillos kind of have some markings on their forehead. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little line here, and that's going to help us later if we want to color our armadillos. Yes, I do. And it's going to show me where I want to put this marking, and I'll show you what that pattern or marking looks like later when we finish drawing our armadillos. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw an eye. Now, an armadillo kind of has a human-shaped eye. It kind of looks like a little football shape. So that's what we're going to do, kind of an oval. And we're going to make a pupil right inside. And as you guys know, if you've done any drawing videos with me, anytime I spend drawing with you is a happy time for me. So I'm going to give my armadillo a little smiling mouth. Now, we need to give it some little ears. And its ears are kind of like rounded, pointy triangles. You see that? Rounded triangles. And we're going to give it 2 up on top. And believe it or not, we're almost done with the actual drawing of the armadillo. It's its markings and its coloring that are the trickiest part on this animal. So we're going to go ahead and draw some legs. You're going to draw a short, skinny rectangle, and another short, skinny rectangle close by. And then on the other side of your shell, you're going to draw another skinny rectangle and another skinny rectangle. There you have it. You got 4 feet, but armadillos have little claws because armadillos like to dig, dig, dig. So we're going to give it 1, 2, 3 toes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right? Because it likes to dig and dig. It likes to live in the ground. And a lot of people think that armadillos roll up when they get scared, but frequently what they do is they quickly dig a little hole and hide inside, so it just looks like they've rolled themselves into a ball. I learned a lot making armadillos. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to give this armadillo a tail. And armadillos have kind of rat-like tails. They're kind of long and curly. And then we're going to follow it back to its body. And now we're going to get started with some of those markings. We're going to go ahead and start with the easiest one. That's the tail. And the tail has just little lines. It's a segmented tail. That means it has looks like little pieces. And there you have it. That's an armadillo's tail. And then we're going to make some bands on our armadillo. Now, another thing that I learned is different species of armadillos have different numbers of bands and can look slightly different. So you can make as many or as few bands as you want. I'm going to start by kind of making my first band, which is really, it's just a line. It's a line that goes from the top of my body to the bottom of my body. But notice I left a little bit blank because its whole body isn't covered in this kind of shell, this armor, armadillos, right? And then I'm going to do the same thing on the back because it doesn't have it at its very end of its body either. So in this space between my first line and my last line, I can draw as many or as few lines as I want. And I'm just going to make some skinny little lines throughout this part of my body. So you can see it's really starting to come together, right? It looks like it's starting to have some armor on it. And then you're going to make some little lines on each of those lines. I know it sounds kind of wild, but those little lines are going to help give that shell a little bit of dimension. Now remember, I told you that the front of its snout and the front and back part of its bodies usually have some very specific patterning. And what that usually looks like is it looks like little tiny circles. And you can just kind of make it so many circles that you kind of can't even see the end or the beginning of the next one. You know, see little circles. So you can even do a little curly cues like this. As long as you fill it all in, and if you miss a space, just go back and make another circle. But when I do this with my marker, it makes it look like I've just colored the whole thing in black. I wanted to make sure that you could see kind of what an armadillo's skin looked like without coloring it all in black, but it's really kind of hard to do. But you can see that it has it at the top of its head and at the front and back of its body. And its middle section has a lot of little bands around it. Now I'm going to tell you a little secret. When I was growing up, my family had a stuffed armadillo. And one thing that I know about armadillos is a lot of them have little chin hairs. They're little hairs on their chins. You don't have to add chin hairs if you don't want to, but I will always add chin hairs to mine. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You have just made yourself an armadillo with or without chin hair. If you liked drawing an armadillo with me, please hit that thumbs up button at the bottom of the page. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. Your support really means a lot to me. If you aren't a subscriber yet, hit that subscribe button down here at the bottom of the page, and don't forget to click the bell so that you're notified when there's new content. I hope you had a good time. I know I did, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.